What's up guys, Ace here, bringing us another card of the day, and today we have Teferi's Protection for EDH. So 2 mana and a white, it's an instant that says until your next turn your life total can't change, and you gain protection for everything. All permanents you control phase out. Exile Teferi's Protection. So with that being said, I think this card is generally okay for most, if not all, white decks. I do know that there is a certain meta where this card generally won't be too much of a problem. Although it does seem like it will stall the game for you. There are cards that get past this. You're still in the game. Your life total just can't change, and you gain protection from everything, and your permanents aren't targetable anymore. However, you can still lose the game. So effects like your opponent winning the game will still occur, and you will lose. And so that's also a thing to worry about. While you can cast this, it doesn't mean you aren't in the game. So you can still use your instant speed, removal spells, or like that are free to sort of interact with the stack still after casting that sort of effect. So it doesn't mean you're out of the game. It just makes it really hard for you to lose the game because there are other effects that will stop you from being protected by this sort of effect. That is like Thassa's Oracle. So with that being said, I think generally this card is pretty good if you're not playing against too many blue decks. Even if you're playing against some blue decks, like it's just a counter spell in some cases where like you want to protect a permanent really, like a lot. This gives you that protection, or if you want to like save something, this gives you that protection until your next turn. So that being said, this card can be pretty versatile. However, there's still ways around it. With that being said, I do think like generally a deck will benefit from this sort of effect. As long as you're playing white, this is one of those premier white effects. It can be used as a fog, which is pretty helpful at times. In a pinch, there's a lot of things you can do with this card. It's pretty versatile. With that being said, I think it's probably best played from Battlecruiser to high power, because most of the instant speed win game effects that are in blue mostly occur at the higher the CDH level. This card can fall a little bit, which is why I think most lists in the CDH level won't really run something like this, because it's just they're usually playing some sort of variant of blue in their decks, and so this effect can be countered. They can get past it. It's not too much of a big deal. If it had split second like Angel's Grace, that would be a little game changer. That way Consultation and Oracle would sort of falter. Any sort of Consultation line may falter because you can't lose the game. But other than that, this card is pretty good. I think it's pretty good and comparable to Angel's Grace. But other than that, tell me what you guys think about this card in the comment section below. What are some cool scenarios you've seen with this card? I think generally it's a pretty cool card. I think it wouldn't be that OP if this card didn't exile itself. However, even with exiling itself, it's still pretty worth it, I believe, most of the time. We've seen this a lot with like a lot of the end of the turn effects where the card just exiles itself. You can probably put it in those situations where like if there's a way to loop it, it's probably going to be super strong, because there are just some cards that can't particularly be interacted with because of how they're used and like they're done on the stack. Like you can't pithing needle this or anything. And so generally with colors that can't interact with the stack, they generally sort of stop this sort of interaction or way of going about things by doing. I mean, if you're playing blue, you can do anything, but it's generally hard to do that stuff without playing blue. So the exile clause is pretty strong here. Anyways, tell me what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Other than that, peace out, guys. Have a nice one. Do you guys think this card is worth it in high power decks? I think it might be. But peace out and have a nice one.